Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. This is definitely the most prosperous and magnificent star field Zian has ever seen. The magnificence of the Heart of Humanity star territory far exceeds Zian's imagination. Why do you say that? Normally, human beings all live in planets, or at most in star systems. What this living unit means is that, generally speaking, humans will only live on the planet. Buildings, solid planets, will be built directly on the surface of the planet. Gaseous planets generally only float on the surface of the planet. The residential unit of the star system, that is, the space environment within the star system, will have some buildings, and that's it. But Heart of Humanity star territory. The most core place of humanity in this universe. But it is a living unit based on star fields. What is a residential unit based on a star field? It means stepped into this star field. Wherever the eyes go, there are all kinds of buildings. Even the planet doesn't matter anymore. No. Precisely. Actually, there is not even a single planet in the Heart of Humanity star field. The Heart of Humanity star territory is actually built in an uninhabited sky environment. Everything you look at was built later by the human race. The reason why this place is called star territory is because the vast and shocking buildings have reached the star territory level. It's so outrageous. A star-level city with buildings. What is this concept? To know. Above the star system is a large galaxy. Above the large galaxy is the star region. A star region usually has multiple large galaxies. Above the star area are clouds. Nebula has multiple star sectors. Above the nebula are star clusters. Above the star cluster is the star field. Can you imagine how grand a building complex in a star field is? This is definitely the best technology and the best architecture among human beings. The human, material, and financial resources invested. To an unimaginable extent. Each of those cells is about the same size as a star system. Every building in the community. They are all equivalent to the size of a planet like the Earth. And in every building, tens of billions of people live there. One community, 100 billion people. It's just a relatively ordinary small community. The outermost neighborhood. In other words, this is a suburban community. Street. It is composed of huge buildings, countless spaceships and starships shuttled through it. And there is also a down-to-earth road. Yes. Pavement. Adopting the most high-end gravity control system and ecological control system on the street. It can be seen that countless people are walking on it. Population. It's here. It has no meaning anymore. The entire human heart star field. They are all grounded. But not a whole piece of ground. It's the partitioned kind. The entire human heart star territory has a total of 10,800 districts. The meaning of this district is similar to the Chaoyang district, Huangpu district, etc. of the Earth in ancient times. Just a city district. Every district consists of at least one large galaxy. Many, even 5 or even 6 large galaxies. And every district. It is a huge artificial ground. Above artificial ground. It's just a building. Even the landscape of just one district is shocking enough. It is unimaginable that 10,800 districts. What a visual feast it is. Besides, because there are no planets here, there are naturally no stars. However, there are no stars, but the entire star field. Yes. The entire star field. All in a bright environment. I don't know where the light source comes from, it seems to appear out of thin air. It brings light and warmth. And it has the effect of alternating day and night. Zian. He took a long breath. In his eyes. Full of shock. full of wonder. I am shocked and amazed that humans in the universe can create such a miraculous building complex. Among them, the accumulated human, material, and financial resources, as well as the wisdom and technological achievements of the human race for countless years, are unimaginable. Just when Zian and the other girls, except Xiao Taoyu and Mu Ziqiu, were all expressing wonder and shock at this place. In the communicator. Suddenly a soft female voice sounded, "Is this Zian and the brilliant fleet? I am a staff member of the Office of Universal Human Federation Affairs. I was ordered to come here to greet you." Gaze intently. A standard starship that was armed to the teeth and extremely sophisticated actually appeared in front of them. In this fleet, the worst ones are actually the captains of the vertical starships. The leader turned out to be the captain of the Jinyu ship. And this fleet has a very peculiar shape. How to say? Anyway, it looks very sci-fi and cool. But in the eyes of Zian, a professional evolutionist, the shape of this fleet does not seem to be very practical. It seems that it exists just to look good and cool. But Zian didn't think much and nodded, "It's me." The other party's voice became more respectful, "Then please follow me." Zian nodded and said nothing more. But that's it. This fleet, after confirming the identities of Zian and others, they actually surrounded them. But it's not a hostile encirclement, but a welcoming escort encirclement. Front. The township is at the forefront. After that came two longitudinal starships. On the left and right sides and behind, there are also vertical starships, which protect the entire fleet and fly ahead. Not only that. I don't know when Zian was heading in this direction. Along the way, there are cool starships like this floating on both sides. There are many of them, and they extend to very faraway locations. However, the level of these starships is not that high. So many starships formed a passage in the middle, and no one was allowed to enter. Solemn and solemn. Seeing this, Zian seemed to understand something. But at this time, in the public channel, there were exclamations one after another. Hiss, Federal Ceremonial Fleet. Oh my God! It's actually the Federal Ceremonial Fleet that is blocking the road for escort. Who is escorting this person? Is it a big boss from our human race? Or is it a hero from our human race returning in triumph? If I remember correctly, every time our human race's Federal Ceremonial Fleet is dispatched, the heroes who have made great contributions to our human race are basically returning in triumph. It has not been seen for many years, and this time the escort welcomes. Immortal ship? How come there is an immortal ship? Wait a minute. Damn it. These immortal ships, why do they look so familiar? Dig, dig, dig. No way, no way. Hiss. Oh my God. Zian. It's Zian. It's really Zian, and his brilliant fleet. Ah. It's really Zian who's here. So that's it, that's it. Let me just say, our human race hasn't had any major victories now, so why would we dispatch the Federation's ceremonial fleet? It turns out to be the eternal brilliant Su Tianjiao. Haha, I didn't expect Su Tianjiao to come to our human heart star territory. My idol is here. I, Su Tianjiao, am definitely qualified to receive such a standard of reception. Damn, Quanbi. It seems that this is really the highest standard of reception. There were exclamations one after another, from the very beginning of surprise and curiosity. When Zian recognized the people who greeted and escorted him, he became excited, and the change became particularly fast. Then he saw it. Countless starships around. Spaceship. He even flew directly into the air and came to both sides of the road, blocked by the Federal Ceremonial Fleet, to watch it up close. But no one dared to run in. First of all, this blocked passage is specially used to welcome Zian, and they are not qualified to enter. Secondly, it is also to prevent assassins. All are clearly stated. Wang Jiaohao, anyone who dares to enter it will be killed on the spot. So even at this moment, after recognizing Su Zian, everyone was very excited. But no one dared to come to Su Zian, only people on both sides kept cheering and shouting. For a while, the cheers grew louder. More and more people know about Su Zian's arrival. This area. The whole thing fell into a sea of cheers and boiling. Then, more and more people know it. More and more people are coming. The densely packed and countless people waved their arms and shouted excitedly towards Su Zian. Su Zian. I was also deeply shocked by these countless people. He has never seen so many people in reality. Really, too many, too many. After all, there are hundreds of billions of people in the most ordinary community. Can you imagine what the population of this huge star field is? But what shocked Su Zian the most? It's still people's excitement and support. It's a shout-out to one's own name. It is also a shout-out to him for his contribution to the human race over the years. The moment is near. Su Zian thinks. It's all worth it. The road is short. It seems very long. Finally, amid the cheers of countless people, Su Zian and his party arrived at destination. That's an unimaginably huge building. Su Zian has never seen such a huge building in his life. Is the Free Channel Group Space Relay Station large enough? Even a small space relay station is equivalent to the size of a moon. However, compared with the building in front of me called the Heart of Humanity, as small as an ant. Have you ever seen a building that is the size of half the Milky Way? No. Su Zian saw it. In eyes, deeply shocked by it. This building is so big, majestic, and magnificent. Can only say. It is indeed the core building of the human race in the universe. He seemed to understand Su Zian's inner shock. The receptionist explained softly, the Heart of Humanity building. It is the core building of the human race in our universe. At the same time, the 108th star field of the human race in the universe, as well as all external departments, are all concentrated here. The number of staff here has reached an unimaginable level, because there are so many things that 167 has to deal with here every day. Listen to what the other person says. Su Zian suddenly realized. This seems reasonable. Matters in the universe 108 star field are all handled here. It's unimaginable how many staff and departments are needed. In addition, it is the largest and most core building of the human race. It seems natural that it should be built in such a grand manner. Director Wan is waiting for you in the office. The receptionist reminded. Su Zian immediately withdrew his amazed gaze and nodded, okay, let's go first. Wan takes charge. It is my master, Wan Zhongshan. Take charge. It is an honorific title for the 7 members of the Peak Group. It is also a title for the highest level person in charge of the human race in the universe. Top group member. It's taking charge. Member of the Board of Elders. That's the elder. Members of the Parliamentary Caucus. Naturally, he is a member of Parliament. Really close to this building of the Heart of Humanity. Only then can you truly feel the greatness and incredibleness of this building. There are countless entrance and exit gates. And these gates. There are, aged, federal troops standing guard on both sides all year round. And these federal troops. All void ship captains. Yes. Void ship captain. Each gate has 6 void level guards. It's hard to imagine how many void levels these guards alone have in total. It is the foundation accumulated by the human race in the universe for countless years. I don't really think the strong men among the 3 peak groups are really only what they see on the surface, right? The area of the 3 peak ethnic groups is so huge. What a huge population. How long it has existed. After countless years of accumulation, even if the probability of becoming a strong person is small, it will not be less. Let's just say it. The last time I took more than 2,000 human geniuses to assassinate the insects, the humans sent 2 annihilation level and more than a dozen world-destroying level powerhouses. These people, they are all from the human race of the universe and have never really been made public. Not even a member of the Pinnacle Group or the Elder Group. Adelaide. They are all the hidden power of the human race in the universe. Be more specific. The hidden power of the 3 major ethnic groups is much more than what is revealed on the surface. On the surface, there are only 7 annihilation levels. Do you believe? Whoever believes it is a fool. Came to this building. Naturally, he was about to come out of the starship. However, the building is so big that it is impossible for you to walk. How long will it take to actually walk? However, just when Zian was curious about what kind of transportation method was used in this building, after all. This building is equivalent to half the size of the Milky Way. It is so big that even a world-destroying level peerless expert would not be able to reach the other end from one end by flying alone for several years. Zian's curiosity was quickly quelled. Original. He thought he would see a huge, majestic hall. But it's really impressive. #Euro. Wormhole Stargate. Yes. Wormhole Stargate. These are all gates. It turned out to be wormhole stargates leading to different departments or regions. What else can I say? That's it. This kind of generosity can only be achieved by the 3 peak ethnic groups. Adieu. We came to the largest gate. Zian and his party went straight into it. A flower in front of my eyes. It only takes a few minutes. Zian and others appeared in a long, atmospheric and brightly lit corridor. This side of the corridor is the wormhole star gate. At the end of the corridor is a quaint door. Needless to say, this is the office of my master Wan Zhongshan. Zian's idea just came to him. The majestic and gentle voice of the master seemed to ring in my ears. Coming? Come in, everyone. As the master's voice fell, the heavy, ancient door automatically opened to both sides. The light inside was so dazzling that I couldn't see clearly what was going on inside. I brought you here. This strong female receptionist at the Jinyu level smiled at Zian, then turned and left. Let's go. Zian took the lead and walked towards the office. Gradually, the dazzling light gradually dimmed. Soon, Zian saw everything in the office clearly. I originally thought that the office would be very huge and extremely luxurious. However, the simplicity inside is far beyond Zian's imagination. It turned out to be almost the same as a normal office. Just a table and a chair. Then there are the sofas, coffee tables, etc. in the office reception area. Nothing more. Unimaginably simple. It's hard to imagine. It would actually be the office of one of the top annihilation level experts and the leader of the human race. However, these are just glimpses. Soon, Zian's eyes were focused on the thin old man wearing casual clothes and smiling behind the desk. The old man's appearance is exactly the same as what he saw on the internet. However, the other party's clothes, breath, etc., turned out to be so ordinary and ordinary. It's just like an ordinary old man without any cultivation. It's hard to imagine. He turned out to be one of the leaders of the human race. Master. Zian, salute respectfully. I've seen Commander Wan. The ladies also saluted respectfully. With a gentle smile on his face, Wan Zhongshan came forward, personally helped Zian up, and said to the girls, "You're welcome, sit down, sit down." After everyone sat down, Wan Zhongshan looked at Zian carefully, nodded and said, "These years. You're really good." Not only is his own cultivation and potential rare to see in countless years. What's more, it's your pure heart that is dedicated to our human race. So we have been thinking about your reward. This time, you have made such an outstanding contribution to the human race. We have also made corresponding decisions regarding the rewards for you and your fleet. Wan Zhongshan said straight to the point, we have thought about it a lot. You are not short of money. You are not short of materials and resources. So the final decision. We old guys will train you personally. Until you break through to the void level. More than just cultivation. As well as your personal battles, Star Wars level, etc. As for you, Shaoan, and Lu Yuyu, I will give you 2 special training as evolutionists. At first. Hear what Master said. Zian almost blurted out. I'm short of money. I'm short of money. Even he has decided. As long as the next reward is not so satisfying. He designated those who shamelessly asked for money. Of course military merit can also be used. As long as it is equivalent to money, I want it. As many as you want. But. After listening to what Master said next. Money or not, doesn't matter. We are a proud man, and we are waiting for people who love money. Special training for annihilation level peak experts. Moreover, it is a collection of the highest biotechnological technologies of the human race in the universe. Normally, it would take at least 6 or 7 years for me and others to truly break through to the void ship. Now. Perhaps. A year or 2 should be fine. Not only that. Individual wars and Star Wars will continue to see a major improvement. This is the most important. He and Lu Yuyu can even receive exclusive training as evolutionists. Who is the master? One of the top evolutionists in the entire human race in the universe. A real 9th grade evolution master. To know. Currently, the highest level of evolutionists in the universe is only at the 9th level. 10th grade. Exists only in concept. The reason why we say 10 grades is a concept. That is because 9th grade evolution master. It is already the eternal ship that can evolve to the highest level. 8th level evolution master, evolve the world destroyer and annihilation ship. Unless there is a starship in this world that exceeds the eternal ship level. Otherwise, 10th level evolution master will always exist only in concepts. We don't have any problems. Zian answered without hesitation. Only a fool would refuse. This kind of opportunity. No matter how much money you have, you can't buy it. How busy these peak experts are. It seems that I had known that Zian would definitely agree. After Wanzhong Mountain, after chatting with Zian for a while, he asked the staff to take Zian and the others to rest. Resting place. In the reception room of the Heart of Humanity. Such a huge building. That's all there is, of course. Forget about the reception room. Starships can even be produced, evolved, and repaired inside. As well as producing a wide variety of items. A lot of supplies are also stored. Moreover, there are also planting and breeding areas, etc. Let's put it that way. This building of the Heart of Humanity. It is equivalent to an absolute ecological closure. Even if all the territory of the human race in the universe is occupied. The Heart of Humanity building can still operate unaffected for many, many years. It's a super building. And the reception room. I have to say, it is also extremely luxurious. After all, it embodies the highest technological peak of the human race in the universe. Updated all year round. Everything is the smartest and most comfortable environment. But I didn't find out until I actually lived in it. There are also many living areas and activity areas here. There are also streets, shopping malls, parks, and even mountains, lakes, etc. Iran is a planet half the size of the Milky Way. Reception room. It's in a luxury hotel in the living area. Downstairs is the busiest street. It's here. Anything can be bought. You can also eat anything. In addition, there are quite a few people living here. The population density may be slightly less than that of the outside world, but it's not much less. I can live here. They are all the elites among the elites of the human race in the universe, the strongest among the strong. And their families. As for living conditions, it depends on the situation. In short, ordinary people can't get in, let alone settled here. However, Zian and the girls of the brilliant fleet must be absolutely qualified to move in. Not only could I move in, I also received top-quality housing, for free. That is, the most luxurious villa. The reason why I am staying in a hotel now. That is because where to live is entirely up to Zian. At that time, the wormhole stargate connecting to the door will also need to be opened. All of these. They are all cosmic human beings. Thank you, Zian, for the reward for his outstanding contributions to the cosmic human race. To this. Of course, Zian is also happy to hear it. Find a place to build a house, or simply find a place to live in an existing place. Let's talk about this later. Now. Of course, I would like to take a walk with the girls in this most core and greatest building of the human race. If nothing unexpected happens. It will take at least 1 to 3 years. 0, please give me flowers. Zian and the girls will always live here. Ime Nebula can remotely control it anyway. This to 3 years. It's Zian, especially the girls. The key to rising like a rocket. This point is very important. Zian is also very fond of this. Qin Fuyue and other girls, with their cultivation and Star War talents, have indeed reached the level of peerless geniuses. But there is one thing to say. Still not comprehensive enough. The reason why I was able to leapfrog in battle before. First of all, the cooperation of the female starships in the brilliant fleet far exceeded their original strength. Secondly, it is the peak quality of their starships themselves, coupled with their Star Wars talent, which comes from the lifelong experience of world-destroying powerhouses. In this way. Only then did this happen. Really speaking, leapfrog combat is not that sufficient. Anyway, in Zian's opinion, he is definitely not satisfied. There is still a lot of room for improvement. Needless to say, there are 2 daughters, Lu Yuyu and Mu Ziqiu. Lu Yuyu is not even a genius. She is just the top talent in evolution. Moreover, this top talent has only been promoted in recent years. In terms of cultivation, she is just a monster. In terms of Star Wars, she is also just a monster. Mu Ziqiu. Nor is he a peerless genius. But one good thing is that she is the top talent in Star Wars. Among the women. Perhaps there is only one Qiu Taoyu, who is truly a peerless talent in Star Wars. Zian attaches great importance to this opportunity. Don't say anything else. Brilliant fleet. All members must be truly gifted in both Star Wars talent and cultivation talent. This is the most basic. It must also be done. If this lasts 3 years. If anyone else can't do it. Zian, I really don't know how to show mercy. By the time. It's time to kick out the fleet. Even the 4th senior sister Lu Yuyu is like this. At this point. Female. They are all very clear in their hearts. They also understood better why Zian was so cold-blooded. Very simple. They all know it very well. Follow Zian. In the future, we will definitely experience the most dangerous environments and engage in the most dangerous battles. Under such circumstances, the strength cannot keep up. It's okay to be tricked to death by yourself. If anyone else is fooled, then it is irreversible. Therefore, girls understand. I understand better that Zian warned them so mercilessly again and again, not because Zian is really cold-blooded. It is precisely because I understand Zian. So, ladies, I have no complaints, whether it's training or studying Star Wars. Zian's instructions are not needed at all. I worked hard myself. That's why 5. Su Tianjiao. Welcome Su Tianjiao to the heart of humanity. Haha, Su Tianjiao is indeed extraordinary and heroic. He is indeed the hope of our human race. Walking in the street. Ear. It was a greeting full of enthusiasm and goodwill. Compared to the madness of citizens outside, the citizens in the heart of humanity appear to be much more restrained. At least he didn't see Su Zian, so he rushed towards him. You need to sign autographs, take photos, give birth to children, etc. After all, people can live here. They are all heroes of the human race, strong men of the human race, and precious figures of the human race themselves. Or the descendants of these people, etc. There is no such fanaticism. Of course, what I'm talking about is just not being so fanatical in behavior. The attitude towards Su Zian is exactly the same. This also made Su Zian and others feel much more relaxed. At least I don't have to face being surrounded. You can freely go shopping, enjoy delicious food, and enjoy rare leisure time. Su Zian fell in love with this place immediately. Amid the enthusiastic greetings, Su Zian kept a smile on his face and nodded his head. People who walked by could sometimes see powerful men of the Zongxingxing and Jinyu ship levels passing by. You can even occasionally encounter a few supreme ships and even world-destroying powerhouses. Of course, there are also many people with lower cultivation levels than 370. But the vast majority, they are all young people, or evolutionists, scientists, etc. If you want to live permanently in the heart of the human race, the review standards are extremely strict. After all, it's here. You can enjoy the safest environment, the best training, and the best growth for humans in the universe. This is no joke. The most ordinary kindergarten here. Yes. Kindergarten. Teachers are all senior and strong people. Just to cultivate him as a strong person from an early age. It's here. From a young age, one can obtain a large number of natural materials and treasures to strengthen oneself so that one can awaken bioenergy as early as possible. Let's put it that way. The awakening rate of the human heart is 30%. And the outside world? The awakening rate is only a few tenths of a percent, or 1% at most. Gap. Unimaginably huge. In addition, although the environment and conditions are super good, but the teenagers here work harder than the people outside. The reason is simple. If someone in your immediate family has the permanent residence qualification here, then you can naturally relax. But once this person dies or due to some other reasons, he loses his residence qualification here. Then, you must inherit your residency status within a certain time limit, otherwise you will have no choice but to leave here. And immediate family members cannot exceed 3 generations. In other words, if your grandfather has the residence qualification, then you can live there. But once the great-grandchildren arrive, you only have temporary residence status. Temporary residence qualification means you have to awaken to bioenergy within a certain number of years. And you must be a genius in a certain field. Otherwise, the result will still be to leave here. Don't look at how huge the human race's heart is. The living area is indeed very, very, very large. But more people. The human race in the universe has a population too large to be counted. Only 1 in 10,000 of the population occupies here. You don't work hard, plenty of people can come and live there. Therefore, the people here, on the contrary, they are more experienced than people in the outside world, can live here. Not only is it a better environment and future, it is also a symbol of status. Anyway, it's very nice here. It is very difficult to live in. Of course, Su Zian didn't feel any difficulty at all. Because the top talent of the Universe Human Federation can automatically obtain a residence permit here. In fact, Su Zian had always known about this before. But it never came. So keep an eye out, caused by the site. Except for babies and children, almost all of them are biological warriors. This gold content is really not low. But then I thought about it, the people gathered here are the most elite people of the human race. Their descendants will naturally not be much different. If you think about it this way, there is nothing surprising. Go shopping, shop, and enjoy delicious food. Zian can't help but sigh. No wonder the people here are unwilling to go out at all costs. It is true. That's great. I originally thought that today's interstellar era of the universe would be the most prosperous. However, compared with the heart of humanity, it seemed like nothing at all. Real. There is nothing you can't imagine here, and there is nothing you can't buy. Even the rarest things in the universe can be purchased here. Of course, the price is outrageously expensive. There are even some things that money can't buy at all. After a day of shopping, including Zian, everyone is still unsatisfied. But the habit of practicing every day for many years still made everyone go home and continue their own practice. Absolute self-discipline. It is the most basic condition for becoming a strong person. Early the next morning, how many people did Zian have? Then he went back to Master Wan Zhongshan's office. Today, he is no longer alone in Master's office. Instead, there are a bunch of old men and women. Besides, a few middle-aged, young, and teenagers? Zian couldn't help but look at the other person a few more times. But none of this matters. The important thing is, including this boy. Actually, it turns out, all are annihilation level. Why is Zian so sure of this? This can be determined from the fact that these people were sitting in the office, chatting with Wan Zhongshan with casual expressions. Not the same level of characters. How could it be possible to be so calm and composed in the face of an annihilation-level powerhouse at the level of a deacon? Post. What happened to that boy? I saw Zian looking at the young man frequently. A few chuckles could not help but sound. One of the pale-haired old ladies said to the young man with a teasing face, "Old Chen, I want you to pretend to be young here every day. Among our group of old guys, you are the oldest one. But I keep pretending to be young here every day. It's okay now, look at the eyes of these young people, ha ha ha." Talking and talking. The old lady couldn't help but raise her head and laugh wildly. Only a few teeth could be seen in her cracked mouth. Hearing what the old lady said, Zian also touched his nose and coughed lightly. All right. It is as expected. But this boss does have some quirks. The whole person looks like he is 13 or 14 years old at most. As a result, they are the oldest among them? Unexpectedly, the young man didn't care. He looked at Zian for a few times, then glanced at the old lady and snorted, "You know nothing. As I said, I'm not pretending to be young, not pretending to be young. I just want to keep myself an absolutely passionate heart. I don't know how many years I have lived, and because of this person's heart will gradually become cold and indifferent. You see, over the years, how many old people have completely lost the intimacy of their compatriots because they have been acquired for so long. Many people are even unwilling to fight for the human race anymore. So, I remind myself every day that I'm still young. When I was 14 years old, it was also the time when I had the greatest love for the human race in the universe. I don't want my heart to cool down over the endless years and eventually turn into a cold-blooded animal." The boy's voice was calm and flat. It seemed that he was talking to the old lady and the others. But it must be said to many people. Zian and the girls were also silent. In fact, this Uncle Chen's kid. It is indeed true. There are really many people who live too long. As a result, the feeling of belonging to the same human race gradually cooled down. Finally, transformed into a heartless, immortal machine. Break away from the human race. Zian did not express any opinions. Because he has been a human being for 2 lifetimes. Blood never cools down. Especially fighting against the inhumans and insects all the year round. Not only him, Female. Neither will it. Fight with enemies. It's the best way to keep your blood flowing. Wan Zhongshan smiled and said, "Okay, Shaoan, let me introduce you to him." Su Zian and the other girls immediately sat upright and listened carefully. Wan Zhongshan, introduced at the beginning. According to Wan Zhongshan's introduction, it was just as he guessed. These people, all of them are annihilation-level experts. Of course. Not a member of the peak group. The cultivation strength may not be as strong as the members of the peak group. Them. It comes from each fleet. A few of them are from the fleet of Grandmaster Wanzhong Mountain. Leftover. Then come from the fleets of various Pinnacle Group members, or other Annihilation-class fleets. The reason is from different fleets. 2.5, there is only one reason. Them. They are all the first human beings in different fields. For example, the old lady who spoke first. He is the undisputed first support ship captain of the space human race. And she, specially responsible for providing the most professional training to Bai Xiaoyuan and Chu Tianga. That old man Chen. He is the undisputed #1 agile captain among the humans in the universe. His agility in combat, his ability to dodge. He said he was second, but no one dared to say he was first. Even the members of the 7 peak groups are no exception. Of course. Except for the eternal guardian god. Then. A burly man. He, the human race of the universe, has the first priority in defense. A gentle middle-aged woman. She, the human race in the universe, has the most accurate attacks. Besides. Let's introduce them one by one. Su Zian felt more moved and shocked in his heart. Because he knows. The master, or the cosmic human race, summoned these peak experts. It's really thoughtful. He really did everything possible to make Su Zian and the brilliant fleet stronger. Just the love the human race has for him. Su Zian thinks so. His own burning blood will boil forever. Slow. Too slow. Are you a tortoise? Tell me. Can your creature be a decoration? In a life and death battle, you still care about your biological energy? Use it for me. Use it hard. Inject it hard into your hull to increase the toughness of the hull, and then inject it hard into the engine to increase the speed of your starship. A truly agile starship must be the most terrifying ghost death on the battlefield. Come and go without a trace, kill people invisible. But what about you? You are as slow as a giant turtle. You are like this, and you are still an unparalleled genius? Shame, I am really ashamed of you. This kind of roaring sound has lasted for a full 7 hours. Miao Xiaomi was scolded bloody by Uncle Chen. There is no preferential treatment at all, because Miao Xiaomi is female. It's time to scold. Miao Miao pursed her red lips tightly. Continue your training. In fact, in Su Zian's opinion, Miao Xiaomi has made great progress in speed and agility. However, in front of young Uncle Chen, the most agile person in the human race. It's just pediatrics. There are flaws everywhere. The other side. Originally 06, kindly white old lady 1. That is, the old lady on the first support ship of the Space Human Federation. Now. There was no trace of kindness on his face. Only sulky, serious, and cold-blooded. Only then. Then I suddenly realized. This. But one of the top annihilation-level experts of the human race. You two girls, are you so stupid? Old lady, at my age, I can control 10,000 annihilation-level maintenance drones, 10,000 annihilation-level reconnaissance drones, 10,000 annihilation-level supply drones, and simultaneously control 30,000 annihilation-level maintenance drones. A target for repair, reconnaissance, and supplies. And what about you? There are just over 800 drones of the same type, which will keep your brains busy. You are still young. I think your brains are probably rusty, right? I don't have the brains of an old lady like me. What kind of support ship is this? You really think that support ships are the simplest and easiest? Old lady, let me tell you. Support ships are the most difficult, dangerous, and important of all types of starships. A truly powerful support ship can at least keep the damage status of all starships in its fleet above 80%. Ammunition consumption has always remained above 80%. At the same time, always make sure there are no other enemies around. That's it for you, leave it to the old lady, and I'll go do the logistics. What a support ship. What an embarrassment to our support ship. The old lady was rude and cursed. Two daughters, by Xianyao and Chu Tianga. The beautiful faces were all pale and without any color. But no one said a word, and they continued to control the drones and conduct various operational trainings according to the old lady's requirements. Another sighed. That burly man. It is the first defense ship of the human race in the universe. He looked mighty and domineering. I thought he was the most vicious one. But on the contrary. I don't even scold Taj and the beautiful girls at all. DJ. Although not scolding. But his behavior was more cruel than scolding. No. The two girls, Taimei and Taiji, were blushing. Disgraceful. How do you say something? It was a shame to be thrown into Grandma's house. Right. They are in this state now. See. The burly man's face was expressionless, and the optical watch on his wrist was aimed at the two girls Taimei and Taj who were training. On top of the optical brain watch. Then there are virtual projections of many people. These people. Looking at Taj and Tammy. Expressions vary. The burly man said calmly, "Students, take a look, take a look. This is Taimei and Taiji in the dazzling fleet that you admire. Now, I will use them as your negative teaching materials. Don't blink, look." Obviously those missiles can be used to destroy the enemy in the air with long-range anti-aircraft missiles before they are launched, but because they are worried about missing the target, they do not want to consume too much long-range anti-aircraft missiles. As a result, the enemy's missiles have already reached us before we can intercept them. We are in a hurry, and most of our attention is focused on these missiles. The result is that the dodge rate and interception rate of the enemy's other attacks plummet. Moreover, most of the missiles are so powerful that when exploded at close range, they themselves will be severely affected. Students, please remember that this kind of behavior is absolutely unacceptable. Do you hear me? Finish talking to the young people in the virtual projection. The burly man then said calmly to the dozens of burly men and women whose faces were flushed in the virtual projection, "Tai Long, Tai Hu. Are the descendants of this generation of your Titan race at this level? We also boast that we are the #1 defensive group of humans in the universe. Is this the result? I don't even know the most basic techniques of sharing firepower in core areas. Alas, there is a big problem with your education." Virtual projection. The patriarchs and elders of the Titan clan, as well as Taj and Taimei's family members, everyone's face was red with dryness. He opened his mouth, but couldn't say a word. The leader of the Titan clan. That is also a world-destroying level of peerless powerhouse. Even the last patriarch of the Titan race was an annihilation-level powerhouse. It's just that ordinary people don't know. And the previous leader of the Titan clan is also watching at this time. He was so shocked by the burly man's words that he didn't even dare to say a word. And the two daughters of Taimei and Taj. At this moment, I have all the thoughts of hitting the wall. Yes, their teacher. Although he didn't yell at them like other teachers. But they would rather a burly man scold them. What now? It's shameful. It's embarrassing. Their grandmother was also among them. It's really embarrassing to be thrown into Grandma's house. Say nothing. The burly man made a joke every time. They just followed it and learned a sentence. Defense skills. In this shame, rising steadily and rapidly. Another side. A fat middle-aged woman with a smile on her face. She is the teacher of Hu Chichi and Qin Fuyue. He is also the captain of the first firepower ship of the Space Human Federation. At this moment, the two daughters, Hu Chichi and Qin Fuyue. Just like 637, his face was red and his ears were red. Working hard. Have no idea. Their teacher. Nor does he curse. But it's sarcastic. Oh. Oh my God. Look at our two cuties. Why is it that your firepower has no accuracy other than ferocity? Why does your accuracy only consume the integrity of the enemy starship? Do you pity them? Are you reluctant to kill them? Still don't have confidence in yourself and think that firepower ships can only consume but cannot kill the enemy? Oh. I found these two cuties. You are nothing but beautiful. Oh, don't blush, I'm complimenting you on your beauty. What I am saying is that apart from your beautiful skin, the rest is nothing but rot. In addition, I want to take back what I said before about your fierce firepower. Because I discovered that even your firepower is full of kindness and compassion. Are you afraid that the firepower will be too fierce and affect the flowers and plants? Oh. My two charming little cuties, you are so kind. You are not even willing to hurt flowers and plants. I applaud you for the beauty of your soul. That sentence, just like thorns. It pierced deeply into the hearts of the two girls. The two pretty faces turned red. Red enough to bleed. So big. I have never been so ashamed. Nothing to say. Except try your best. Otherwise. I can't save my face. This is so embarrassing to my wife. If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic, over there with Meow Meow. In fact, except for the fact that she was yelled at. Lu Yuyu was also scolded by Uncle Chen. Lu Yuyu was scolded even more severely. Because there is one thing to say. Miao Xiaomi has received about 4/10 of the level of a world-destroying powerhouse in his lifetime Star Wars. He has reached the point where he is the peerless genius in Star Wars. Lu Yuyu. Not so lucky. So. This time, the most important thing is actually to train her. Don't say anything else, at least her Star Wars talent must reach the average level of the brilliant fleet. Then. It was so unpleasant to be scolded. But. Effect. It's also obvious. Then there are the two daughters Muzichio and Haitang. In fact, Muzichio has not even joined the brilliant fleet yet. But. That was just a compromise made by Zian in order to better coordinate the combat effectiveness of the fleet. Actually. She is already an appointed member. When everyone in the brilliant fleet is promoted to the void ship level. Muzichio is a member of the team. The top federal officials obviously knew this. Therefore, Muzichio's training was treated equally. Including Qiu Taoyu. Although Qiu Taoyu is the #1 genius of the human race today, she was once the second darling of the human race. Not to mention her, she was the #1 genius of the human race who was killed by the insect race before. Nor have they been specially trained by peak annihilation level experts. Of course, it's another matter if the elders in your family are at the annihilation level. But even so, it is impossible for himself and his fleet to receive such specialized and comprehensive training at the same time. Nor have they been specially trained by peak annihilation level experts. Of course, it's another matter if the elders in your family are at the annihilation level. But even so, it is impossible for himself and his fleet to receive such specialized and comprehensive training at the same time. There are only people like Zian who are peerless geniuses, who have made great contributions to the human race and whose potential is unimaginable. Only then did I accept this kind of training method. Or. Zian. Since the establishment of the Universal Human Federation. The first person to be so professionally trained. Let's look at the two daughters Haitang and Muzicho. What they learn is precision. Accurate point kill, because of Haitang and Yuan Zichio when they were at the Zhongxing starship level. They are all killer ships of the brilliant fleet that use their main guns to kill. They main kill. Qin Fuyue and Hu Qiqi, the two girls, are mainly consumed. After all, the main gun is really powerful. The hull is full of main guns, and there are multiple crossfires. Its lethality is truly terrifying. Since it is the main kill, then accuracy becomes particularly important. Otherwise, no matter how powerful your main gun is, it will not be accurate enough. That's no use either, actually. The training of these powerful men for the brilliant fleet is not so simple. To put it simply, after that, everyone needs to learn different fighting skills. For example, the two daughters Hu Qiqi and Qin Fuyue. They also need to learn dodge, interception, defense, precision, and support. Why? Simple. Because only he truly understands dodge, interception, and defense. Only then can you clearly understand the opponent's dodge, interception, and defense in battle. Only in this way can we make more effective and precise strikes. Needless to say, they are accurate. They are all about fire coverage. The more accurate they are, the greater the threat will naturally be. As for support, also extremely important. Because they are the only ones who understand how support ships fight and support. Only then can we better cooperate with Bai Xiaoyuan and Chu Tianga in their ammunition supply and starship maintenance. That's the truth. The only thing is that they learn these skills as an auxiliary, and fire coverage is their main learning. No doubt, eventually, it is necessary to be proficient in everything, only fully mastered. You will become extremely powerful. Finally, there are Su Zian and Qiu Taoyu. For Qiu Taoyu. In fact, Su Zian has not yet fully figured out what position she will occupy in the brilliant fleet in the future. But first of all, defense and support are definitely excluded, and she is not suitable. Leftover. They are firepower ships, sniper ships, and kill ships. The firepower ships include Hu Qiqi and Qin Fuyue. The sniper ships include Miao Xiaomi and Lu Yuyu. The anti-personnel ships include Mu Ziqiu and Haitang. Qiu Taoyu's arrangement, truth becomes a problem. Shaked his head. Let's talk about this later. After all, Qiu Taoyu is a town ship. To accept her into the team, all members of the Rong fleet will have to be promoted to the Jinyu ship. Still quite far away. Talk about it later. Autumn P. Train. Also learn from the other girls and become stronger. And Su Zian. Needless to say, it was Master Wan Zhongshan who taught him personally. Wan Zhongshan looked at Su Zian with a smile and asked, Zian, do you know why, apart from me, there are no other members of the peak team to teach you and your team members? In addition, YS members of the top group. But he is not the number one human race in a certain field? Su Zian shook his head and said, I don't know. Normally, they should be too busy. But obviously, if Wan Zhongshan could ask this, it would definitely not be for this reason. And Su Zian is indeed very curious. Why are Wan Zhong Mountain and the others not number one in the human race? Ordinarily, they are the most powerful group among the annihilation level. Really? Wan Zhongshan smiled and explained, it's very simple. Because we are more comprehensive. In every field, we can say that we are the strongest. But it's so powerful that it's not so paranoid or so thorough. To put it simply, it's like you and your teammates. It's undeniable. Your team members are all very strong. For example, Taimei Taiji, their defense is definitely the strongest at your level. I can 100% guarantee this. Even your defense is far inferior to theirs. But In a real fight, you can easily kill them. Another example is Qin Fuyue and Hu Qiqi. They have a lot of firepower. But when it comes to actual fighting, you can still kill them easily. Almighty is the label of becoming the strongest person in the universe. And although it's not enough for everyone, but as a fleet, they are the most powerful. And the 7 of us in the peak team are all versatile. That's why I will teach you alone, and I won't teach them. Instead, I will let people who are number 1 in each field teach them. Of course, you can also learn from them later. After all, in their respective fields of expertise, even the 7 of us in the top group are far behind them. 21. Listen to Master's explanation. Zian suddenly understood. It turns out that this is what happened. Indeed. I am indeed the most powerful, whether in the fleet or in action. But for a true fleet, girls who are the ultimate in various fields are the most suitable and powerful ones. Over the years, I have not deviated from the path of cultivating the brilliant fleet, and I have always been moving forward on the right path. Okay, without further ado, let's move on. Just start your training. First of all, let me see your true strength. Remember, it is your true strength, your full strength. I know that you must have hidden abilities, and you also have many hidden special abilities. You don't need to deny this. I believe you know it yourself. All of us at the top already know it. No matter what special skills you have, just use them. Only if you use all your abilities. I know how to train you better and more comprehensively. In addition, you don't have to worry about what will happen after your ability is exposed. Haha, you can rest assured about this. Wan Zhongshan even made a little joke with Su Zixian at the end. And Su Zian. His expression gradually became weird. Of course he knew about his master and the others, and they all knew that he had some special abilities. But he's weird. Do you really use all your abilities without reservation? Do you really want it? Well, if you really show them all. All right. Su Zian dared to say. Not to mention Master Wan Zhongshan. It is the patron saint of the human race, the eternal overlord and strong man here. There is nothing you can do about it. Nothing else. Because I am now invincible. And it is absolutely invincible. Multidimensional space invisibility ability. Space jumping ability, multidimensional space overlapping capabilities. Space wormhole. Various abilities are added up. Let's put it that way. Whoever can kill me is considered awesome. And the fact is, in this world, already, no one can kill himself. On this point, Su Zian, there is absolute confidence. As for what Master said, whether you can rest assured or not. In fact, even if the human race in the universe really has strange thoughts, what can it do? Su Zian. Since gaining the ability to become invisible in multidimensional space, I no longer have to worry about this problem. Don't say anything else, really in danger. Take a space jump directly into the little wife's radiant number, which is hidden in the multidimensional space at every moment. Just ask. Lao Tzu is in a multidimensional space. Who the hell can find me and then kill me? Nobody. Thinking of this, Su Zian said with a strange expression, Master. If you use all your abilities, it's not necessary, right? I'm not worried about my ability being exposed or anything. I naturally have absolute trust in my human race. But what I want to express is that after I use all my abilities, maybe, there's no way to really test my strength. Oh, anyway, some of my abilities are quite unbelievable. Master, you may. Speaking of, getting money is good, Su Zian did not continue. He believed that his master would understand what he wanted to express. As soon as these words came out, Wan Zhongshan's smiling face froze slightly, the corner of his mouth twitched, and then he smiled again. Little guy. Do you think too highly of yourself? Or are you underestimating the strength of those of us in the top group? Yes, in these years, we rarely take action. But you just need to know this, dash. Only the strongest in the annihilation level can become the top group buyer. So, we are invincible existences below the eternal level. Therefore, you can feel free to use all your abilities boldly. Don't worry that I can't test all your abilities. And only when you fully display your abilities can I truly provide you with targeted training. Otherwise, the effect will be twice the result with half the effort. Okay, you don't have to worry about this anymore. Just do as I say. Use all your strength and let's fight. Let me see. How strong are you now? What is it that gives you the confidence to think that I can't even test your true strength? Listening to Master Wan Zhongshan's words, Zian. He could only nod his head helplessly. In that case, what else can be said? Wait a moment, Master, think of what he said now, and you can always remain aloof. How do you say that sentence so cleverly? You recover. I still like how unruly you were before. Zian sighed. I want to have an unreserved battle with my master. This situation. It immediately attracted many people to watch. Even Uncle Chen and the others were interested because of curiosity. So for the time being, the girls stopped training and came to watch. The girls also came. Because. Even if they are teammates with Zian. But in fact, they have never really seen how powerful a full-strength attack can be in a complete sense. If you say you are not curious in your heart, that would be an absolute lie. But except for these people at the scene, there is no one left. Even the burly man cut off the communication of the optical brainwatch. The reason is simple. Zian is so important. And Zian's entire strength is also the highest secret among the highest secrets of the human race in the universe. There is absolutely no possibility of any leakage. Because once it is leaked, the final result, that means they will definitely be targeted specifically by the insects and inhumans. This is something they absolutely don't want to see. Okay, stop being so nagging, kid. Let me see how much you weigh, Master waved his hand and said. Then he flew towards his starship. This is the 27th time Zian has expressed his amazement and shock to these annihilation ships in front of him. Annihilation ship. Limit length. 10 million meters. Yes. 10 million meters. And the diameter of the Earth is less than 13 million meters. That is to say, a starship. Its length. It's equivalent to the diameter of the Earth. What a terrifying behemoth it is. Above. How many weapon systems can it carry? Have you ever seen a super cannon with a diameter of 10,000 meters? This shot goes down to 650. A large galaxy will be completely destroyed. Just looked at it. It has already plunged people into deep despair. But Zian no. On the contrary, he was excited. Fight against the pinnacle expert of annihilation level. And he is also one of the strongest in the annihilation level. This kind of opportunity is rare. The most important thing is that you can still display your full strength. Since Master said so. Zian, of course you won't be polite. No more hesitation immediately. Driving the brilliance. Entered into battle preparation. The so-called battle preparation. Just enter the multidimensional space overlapping state directly. Brilliant number. On the original basis, the performance has been directly enhanced several times. Opposite. The Master also drove his starship over. Zian's brilliant horn, 10,000 meters long. DJ. Compared with the Master. It's like the difference between an elephant and an ant. And at this time, Master also said in the communicator, okay. If you are ready, attack at any time. In addition, I will use anti-aircraft guns to attack you. You should pay more attention to yourself, the Master still reminded him. Until Master. Zian responded naturally. Take a deep breath. The excitement in his eyes was instantly replaced by indifference. This moment. He instantly entered a fighting state. And as soon as he enters a combat state. Zian. Then he headed towards his master, Wanzhong Mountain. Fired his own cannonball. Facing the cannonball fired by Zian. There was no change in the master's expression. He was just curious and allowed these cannonballs to attack his starship. But the next second, he suddenly frowned and said, "Hey," in surprise. "But see you." The area where his starship's energy shield was attacked by Zian. There was a small ripple. At the same time, his star crystal light brain showed. His energy shield. The damage was 0.02%. This made him a little shocked. To know. He is one of the most powerful annihilation ships in the human race in the universe. It is one of the most powerful annihilation ships in the universe. Eternal invincibility is no joke. Is truly invincible. Let's put it this way. Even if the Jinyu ship is here, I'm afraid the damage caused to him is about this. That is to say, Zian. A mere immortal ship. Actual attack power. It has actually reached the level of being close to the Jinyu ship? Good boy, you really have a trick up your sleeve. Wan Zhongshan praised him and immediately said, "You have to be careful next. I'm going to attack you." The voice was full of interest. Obviously. He was also looking forward to Zian's true strength. In fact, all the cannonballs on his starship are blank rounds. In fact, it is not very lethal. But after all, it has a certain lethality. For an annihilation ship, the extremely slight lethality is also a very huge lethality. If you don't do it right, you can blow up a void ship casually. Immediately. An anti-aircraft gun on his starship immediately aimed at Zian. The next second. Launch now. The angle is so tricky that most people can only feel despair after seeing it. Just a shot. His unimaginable Star Wars experience is undoubtedly on display. However, what shocked him even more was what came next. Zian. It actually just turned to the side. The anti-aircraft gun shells at this extremely tricky angle were immediately dodged. Wan Zhongshan's eyes lit up. The eyes of the annihilation-level experts who were watching the battle all lit up. As the saying goes, an expert will know if something is there as soon as he makes a move. Just dodge like Zian. It all makes them feel like they are facing opponents of the same level. Of course. I just have this feeling vaguely. Let's just talk about Star Wars skills. But even so. That's enough. This is enough, to illustrate Zian's strength. The most important thing is dodge at the same time. Zian's starship shells began to output like crazy. One cannonball after another. Also at a tricky angle that was not too different, it launched towards Wanzhong Mountain. Well done. Wan Zhongshan's interest was completely aroused and he praised him. Start really taking action. But it was still just an anti-aircraft gun attacking Zian. But this time, he has a little bit of bioenergy. After bringing the creature, you must be able to use your mental power to control the attack angle and flight trajectory of the cannonball. To put it simply, cannonball warheads injected with bioenergy. It is equivalent to the most accurate guided weapon. In this situation, normal person. Few people can escape the past. Exactly. Zian. Just like a loach. It seems thrilling, but it's actually easy to avoid. The cannonballs of the Brilliance were continuously fired and counterattacked. Every attack. They can easily attack the energy shield of Wanzhong Mountain. And 10,000 mountains. Also started to dodge. After all, he was here to test Zian's true strength. So Zian's shooting accuracy and shooting prediction. Naturally, it is also within his testing range. It's just that I didn't use all my dodge ability. And precisely because of this, Wan Zhongshan was surprised to find out. The dodge rate is only 50%. At most half. Not even half of it. This time, Wan Zhongshan was truly shocked. And around. Hiss. This, world-destroying Star War? It has definitely been achieved, it is definitely a world-destroying Star Wars calendar. No, it's more than that. It's more than the average world-destroying level combat ability. I remember that Zian received a lifetime of Star Wars experience and skills from a world-destroying powerhouse of the insect race, but wouldn't he only be able to comprehend 3/10 or 4/10 of it at most? Look at Zian's fighting skills. This is not only a complete understanding, but also a little more. He is worthy of being the most talented genius in the human race in so many years, and he is worthy of being the eternal brilliance. We must teach them well, we must not delay such a seedling. The annihilation level teachers around them all became excited. Obviously, Zian's true strength. Far beyond their imagination. Good, very good. Wan Zhongshan couldn't help but praise loudly, but, next, you have to be careful. Finished. This time, he actually aimed the 10 anti-aircraft guns on the starship directly at Zian. It turns out, the firepower attacking Zian increased tenfold. It seems, Wan Zhongshan is also planning to use some real skills. Otherwise, I really can't measure Zian's true combat power. At once, anti-aircraft guns injected with bioenergy started to attack Zian. One cannonball after another. At an unimaginably precise angle. Start shooting. At the same time, he also began to intercept Zian's cannonballs at a wider angle. At first, Zian dodged a lot. The last few rounds. Nothing can be said to escape it. Just get bombarded. Explosion is unlikely. But directly, damage exceeding 50% is an inevitable result. Seeing that these shells are about to attack the brilliance. And the kind that is inevitable. A smile appeared on Wan Zhongshan's face. He has stopped. Because he thinks to himself, Zian's strength has been completely tested. World-destroying level. Absolutely world-destroying Star Wars skills. And it is the kind that is completely, thoroughly understood and achieved. They have already made plans on how to develop an exclusive training plan for Zian, Uncle Chen and the others. He also smiled slightly. Soon. Or the next second. Including Wanzhong Mountain. Including Uncle Chen and the others. Likewise, the girls are also included. All of them suddenly looked startled. Then came a look of confusion. In Wan Zhongshan's mind, they have already begun to plan Zian's next training plan. Result. I saw a scene that confused everyone present. Seeing that those shells were about to hit the brilliance. This distance, this angle. There is no way to dodge the gods when they come. But at this critical moment, that 10,000-meter long shining horn. It turns out. That's all. In front of their eyes. With eyes wide open. Out of nothing. Disappeared. Yes. Euro. It's the kind of real disappearance into thin air, definitely not the kind of visual disappearance like optical invisibility. Optical stealth is no longer a high-end technology. Just a very common technology. A large number of instruments and a strong sixth sense can be easily locked. The most important thing is, optical invisibility is just visual invisibility. It doesn't mean that after entering optical stealth, the cannonballs can't hit. Hit it when it's time to hit it. However, what did they see? Forget it if the brilliant number disappears out of thin air. The key is those shells. Unexpectedly, just like that, the brilliant number 1 penetrated directly from where it was just now, without any hindrance. There was nothing in that area. Senseless. Wang Zhongshan was confused. The annihilation level teachers were stunned. The girls were equally confused. Teleport? What kind of black technology is this? What the hell is this? Then, before they could recover from their confusion, everyone's heart moved. Immediately afterwards, I was even more confused to find out, do not know when. Brilliant number. It has appeared behind the Wanzhongshan starship. It's doing crazy output right behind Wanzhong Mountain. One cannonball after another. The starship that hit the 10,000 mountains. There were ripples. This is real. This is a real cannonball. Powerful cannonballs. It's not a virtual projection method. This brilliant ship. It is true. Cannonballs. It's also true. But it's also because it's true. That made them even more confused. Teleport? Is this teleportation? You tell me. In this world, it's so outrageous that you have developed something like teleportation? What is teleportation? It's teleportation. No matter how far away. They can appear in another area instantly. This is called teleportation, although wormholes can make the distance between 2 points reach faster. But teleportation and teleportation are not the same concept at all. Just the disappearance of the brilliance is even a wormhole. It can't be so fast. It really appeared instantly. The most important thing is them. No wormhole was seen. I also didn't feel the wormhole fluctuations. FFLX. Seem. The only explanation is teleportation. Wang Zhongshan opened his mouth wide. Even him. He has lived for countless years and read countless books. At this moment, also completely shocked. I was completely shocked by Zian's methods. What the hell is this? Zian can teleport? He felt that the energy shield of his starship was falling rapidly at a speed of a few tenths. Wang Zhongshan's confused face. Soon. Showing extreme excitement and extreme surprise. Let's not worry about whether Zian teleported or not. I want to see it first. Zian. How did it disappear? How did it appear again? Immediately. Once again, aim the muzzles of the 10 anti-aircraft guns at the brilliance and fire, the same difficult dodge. The same last few shots cannot be avoided. Then, a familiar scene appears. Brilliant number. It actually disappeared again. Almost at the same time. The brilliance appeared in another area. Facing Wanzhong Mountain, continue the crazy output. This time, Wang Zhongshan said nothing. Go ahead and get started. That's all. While Uncle Chen and the others, as well as the girls, were dumbfounded, the brilliant ship was unscathed after several rounds of teleportation. On the contrary, it was the starship of Wanzhong Mountain, the Ninghuang shield dropped by 2%. 10,000 mountains. Finally increased the intensity. Now that it is confirmed that Zian has this weird and magical ability of teleportation, I don't know if it is teleportation. 10,000 mountains. There is no need to worry that Zian's starship will be damaged. Immediately, all anti-aircraft guns were activated. There is no need to attack Zian's position alone. He started shooting in all directions and from all angles. How many anti-aircraft guns are there on an Annihilation-class starship? Have no idea. Anyway, Gildo the Thief. The result is the shells of these anti-aircraft guns, almost forming an airtight world. Shoot stocks past at all angles. This density. No matter where the brilliant number appears, it seems. Can't even bear it. Duh. But. Let. Everyone. What shocked and horrified everyone. Brilliant number. Still continued to disappear. But again. What? Even as calm as a mountain, he couldn't help but exclaimed in disbelief. Then he raised his head and stared with a pair of eyes, fixed, incredible, as if he had seen a ghost. The brilliant number is right in front of you. Stare. In the cockpit of the Brilliance. Zian was smiling and waving at him. Expression. Full of confusion. Yes. Zian. Just give him the 10,000 mountains, and he will be at a loss. You want to ask why? Very simple. Only because. This time. The location where the Brilliance appears again. Not in any other position. 2. In front of the 10,000 mountains. More specifically. It's the 10,000 mountains, and star navigation can be the shield. Yes. Zian. This time I directly entered the starship energy shield of Wanzhong Mountain. But the energy shield of the Wanzhongshan starship was intact, not even a ripple. 10,000 mountains. At this moment, he looked at Zian blankly. I can't say a word anymore. In the head. Blank and confused. F***K. W. What's going on with this? Zian, this, how did you do this? Hiss. Oh my god, am I still awake? Am I still dreaming? This, I. Uncle Chen and other top experts. I was completely confused, dumbfounded, and at a loss. This scene before my eyes. So weird. It makes them even wonder if they are dreaming. So big. I have never seen a more bizarre scene than this. 0, please give me flowers. That is the energy shield of the Annihilation ship. Zian, how did you get in? And the girls. One counts as one. In eyes. It was also the same expression as if he had seen a ghost. Staring stupidly. The abilities Zian is showing now. It was far beyond their imagination. You are. Wanzhongshan opened his mouth and subconsciously wanted to ask something. However. Waiting for him. But it's the massive cannonballs of the Brilliance. It's all on their faces. Of course Zian would not be polite. Just fire it hard and that's it. It's all close to the face, and there is no chance of deflection. Just for a moment. The cockpit of the Wanzhongshan starship was covered by countless firepower. And Zian. Then he drank tea leisurely and distracted himself a little to control the attack of the brilliant horn. Actually, stop talking about Wanzhongshan and the others. Even Zian was a little shocked by this ability. Because. It was only just now that he discovered the invisibility ability in multidimensional space. In the end, to what extent has it gone against the will of heaven? He just found out. After the brilliant number entered the stealth state. XX. There are no longer any barriers in the universe. Or to put it more simply. Space. In front of him. It has completely lost its meaning. Positive universe. It is also a fixed space, no matter how strong the Annihilation ship is, no matter how strong the energy shield is. After all, it is a product of the positive universe. No matter how awesome. It's also impossible to block the entry of the brilliant number that is not in the same space, right? So. Zian discovered. Under the ability of multidimensional space invisibility. Brilliant number. It's like a ghost in this world. There are no obstacles, it's easy. Entered the Wanzhong Mountain energy shield. Then. Zian himself was frightened. This ability, some of them are really outrageous. B. Zian expressed that he was very happy. Very cool. Because of the discovery of this function. Also represents. He moves in and out of good and bad universes. AF. There is no longer any need to look for space barriers. Even. space cracks and space turbulence. In front of him. It will also be in vain. Why is it that even Zian is cautious when entering the anti-universe and must be well prepared before daring to enter? That's because there is an unstoppable factor called space turbulence. And the turbulence in space will blow his bright horn to any place in the anti-universe. This is the hardest part. But after this ability is fully developed, the multidimensional invisibility ability itself does not exist in any dimensional space, such as the anti-universe or the positive universe. Naturally, space turbulence will not affect him. Go wherever you want. Let's leave this aside for now. Just talk about the present. After Zian fired a round at the Wan Zhongshan cockpit, he suddenly had a whim. Immediately take control of the Brilliant, which is invisible in the multidimensional space, and try to see if it can directly enter the interior of the Master's starship. All right. Can. Then. Zian, who was in high spirits, felt something in his heart. People disappear again. The Brilliant ship also immediately disappeared in place. At the same time, Zian appeared in the other Brilliant ship. And the Brilliants. Shockingly. In the Master's Wan Zhongshan starship. Cargo compartment inner door. When the explosion sounded in the cargo hold of the Wan Zhongshan starship, everyone in Wanzhong Mountain is numb. Although the cannonballs of the Brilliants were empty, it is also impossible to reduce the damage rate of his starship to 70% or below. Even. Just be fierce, use all the firepower, and then let the cannonballs and missiles explode outside his starship. The energy generated by the explosion alone was enough to blow up the Brilliants. At the level of the annihilation ship, they are all dark matter weapons. And dark matter, everywhere. Of course, the premise is that Zian does not enter the multidimensional space. Anyway. From the side. Zian. Now. In fact, it is already invincible. It's just that others can't kill him because of his invincibility. Can he kill the enemy? That's something else. The universe is so vast and full of wonders. Invisibility in multidimensional space is not invincible in an absolute sense. No one can guarantee that there is really no means or technology in this world that can kill Zian. Even, Wan Zhongshan really went all out and directly used dark matter weapons to blow up this large star field. 940 then puts this star field in a state of huge space cracks at any time. Unless Zian can stay in the multidimensional space forever and then slowly leave this star field. Otherwise, Zian will die as long as he comes out under the lockdown. In addition, in multidimensional space, you can only move at a normal speed and cannot jump in space. Invincible is only invincible in a broad sense. Not absolutely invincible in the true sense, but even so. They also directly silenced Wan Zhongshan and this group of annihilation-level powerhouses. 10,000 mountains. There was silence for a long time. Suddenly he took a deep breath and said in a somewhat astringent voice, "Okay. Come out." Following his words. Almost synchronously. He could clearly feel that the Brilliants disappeared inside the ship. Before the Brilliant number appears. Even though I have seen this teleportation-like ability many times. A complicated look flashed across Wan Zhongshan's eyes. Looking at the Brilliant number in front of me. And in the cockpit of the Brilliants, Zian was grinning to himself. Wan Zhongshan, for a while, didn't even know what to say. He stared at Zian for a long time. Wan Zhongshan suddenly shook his head and said with a smile, "That's all, I don't have those things either. I really didn't expect that. However, with everything just now. At least I don't have to worry about your safety at all. I am afraid." Speaking of this, Wan Zhongshan's voice was full of exclamation and disbelief. "I'm afraid it's the Eternal Ship. Under normal circumstances, there is nothing we can do against you." As he spoke, Wan Zhongshan's expression suddenly hardened again, and he solemnly warned, "I don't know how you did it. I don't know if you are really invincible like this, and it's impossible for me to really test you with all my strength. But there is one thing, you must listen to me. You must not think that because you are so powerful, everyone will be helpless against you. Just think that you are really invincible. The world is big. The strength and methods of super strong people are far beyond your imagination. Once I am determined to kill you, I don't even need the eternal level. Perhaps annihilation level, or even world annihilation level. It's possible to kill you. Therefore, you must not rely on this ability to put yourself in danger. You are the hope of my human race, the greatest hope of whether the human race of our universe can unify the universe in the future. So, please be careful and careful in everything, be cautious and cautious, do you hear me? Wan Zhongshan spoke to Su Zian in such a serious tone for the first time. Obviously, he was worried and afraid. After Su Zian had this invincible means, he wandered around without any scruples. He is the leader of the human race in the universe. Until now, there are too many incredible methods and technologies in this world. After all, the universe is so big, and billions of people have existed for so many years. Technology has developed over countless years. No matter how slow the development of science and technology is. I don't know how many strange methods have been accumulated. Su Zian also looked serious, nodded and said, I know master, I will remember it. A smile suddenly appeared on Wan Zhongshan's face. The joy in his heart could no longer be suppressed. He raised his head and laughed and said, What a boy. You really gave me a huge surprise this time. That's your method. Ha ha ha, I'm relieved. I don't believe how the inhumans and insects can kill you in this situation. Okay, very good. In the laughter, one can see Wan Zhongshan's sincere happiness. Yes, you really can. With this method, I believe that whether it is a strong person from the inhumans or the insects, they will be confused when trying to assassinate them, right? Ha ha ha. More than confused. Once Shaoan gets stronger, for example, to the Zong Star level, or even the Jinyu level, or the Supreme level, then, even if the annihilation level comes to assassinate, it will not be an assassination, but a return without return. Inverted. That makes sense. No, I even doubt that as long as he reaches the vertical star level, Shaoan can use this method to kill a world-destroying class or even an annihilation-class ship. That's impossible. I'm not saying that Shaoan is not strong enough, but he's not stupid. He can run away if he can't be beaten. Well, that's right. Beside, each of these annihilation-level powerhouses expressed their inner wonder and joy. Everyone is happy for Su Zian. In fact, after reaching their level, the future of the human race comes first, because they have all reached the top. Life is infinite. The strength can be said to be at its peak. The right is at the top. Eternal level. That is elusive. Therefore, no matter how miraculous and heaven-defying the abilities Su Zian showed were, actually, none of them would have the slightest intention of coveting it. Because these things have no appeal to them. Only how can humans unify the universe and become the most powerful ethnic group? That's the only thing they consider. Of course. Let's not say that they don't covet it, even if there is. After seeing Su Zian's miraculous abilities, the covetousness completely disappeared. You can't kill them at all, so why are you coveting them? Crazy. As for asking Su Zian to hand over this method, never thought about it at all. First, if it can be shared, Su Zian must share it himself first. Over the years, no one would doubt Su Zian's innocence towards the human race. Secondly, even if Su Zian really takes the initiative to contribute, they will definitely refuse. The reason is simple. This ability. It's so outrageous, such an incredible ability. Who can ensure that it will not spread? Once it spreads, let the aliens and the human race know it. The consequences could be disastrous. Look at the women again. They were completely numb. Don't want to ask anything. I don't want to think about anything. Anyway. No matter how contrary Zian is. They were too lazy to care. This life. Just follow him. After everyone was amazed for a while. Wan Zhongshan coughed lightly and couldn't help but said with a little embarrassment, Shaoan. That's right. As for you, collect these magical powers of yours later. Just use your normal strength to fight me. After all, it is to test your true combat effectiveness, although these are also part of your strength. However, if you want to see your Star Wars deficiencies from these aspects, I'm afraid it won't work. So if you want to improve, just play a game normally. The words of Wan Zhongshan. Uncle Chen and the other boys couldn't help but chuckle a few times. They all felt so embarrassed for Wan Zhongshan. Before the start. That's what Wan Zhongshan calls self-confidence. Whatever you say, let Zian come, no problem at all. It's good now. Zian did let go. But the result. But Zian was completely helpless. One thing to say. This 1.2 is a bit of a slap in the face. He is an annihilation level. And it is an annihilation level invincible existence. However. But I was helpless to deal with a small immortal level. Ku smiled and smiled. The expressions of Uncle Chen, the young man, and the others couldn't help but freeze. Like 14, maybe. Replace them. There is no way? Adelaide. It seems that he can't even deal with an immortal class? Damn it. So what am I laughing at? That side. Wan Zhongshan's expression also revealed helplessness. What can he do? He doesn't want this either, who the hell would have thought? An immortal level. There is nothing he can do even at the level of annihilation? Zaj. But this is our disciple. This is the future and hope of our race. The more defiant he is, the happier I will be, old man. Think of this. A smile appeared on Wan Zhongshan's face again. There was even some pride in the eyes of Uncle Chen and the other boys. It seems to be saying. You still have the nerve to laugh at me? This is my disciple. Do you have any? Next test. It's much more normal. But. This is normal. It's just compared to Zian's previous performance. In fact, it's not normal at all. Can you imagine an annihilation ship or an invincible annihilation ship? Against an immortal ship. The energy shield was damaged by more than 5%, and then a third of the anti-aircraft guns were used to hit the starship until the damage was more than 80%. That's 2% damage to the annihilation ship's energy shield. It doesn't seem like much. But what about actually? An ordinary immortal ship might not even be able to touch the opponent's side. Even if the other party doesn't move. Because of the anti-aircraft guns, it can be intercepted extremely easily. Even if it is an immortal ship of the peerless genius level. It would be great to achieve 0.002% gap. It's just so obvious. The 10,000 Chong Mountains and those annihilation levels were once again amazed. After all. This is Zian's true strength, without using his supernatural powers. It is enough to show how talented and powerful Zian is. On the contrary, Zian himself was not only not satisfied, but also very dissatisfied. The reason is simple. He has conducted many annihilation-level simulated Star Wars in the simulated universe. Even the Eternal level ones have done it. Although it cost an unimaginable amount of wealth. But it has also been done. But in the simulation, he achieved even higher results. At the same time, it also made him feel his own path. There is still a long, long way to go. Immortal ship. Real. It's just the beginning, 06. Yes. The immortal ship is just the beginning, but that's okay. Immortal level. He has endless life. One day. He will surely be able to rule the world. Become the strongest person. After testing Zian's full strength. Next, it's time to start targeted training for Zian. The training of the girls also started again. This long training. It also officially kicked off. Under infinite life. Time is really almost imperceptible. Unconsciously. 3 years. It just passed by in such a hurry. I originally thought it would only take a year or two. But it still took 3 years. But it is still several years shorter than normal. But that's not the point. The point is, in fact, it's just about improving your cultivation. 1 or 2 years is indeed enough to reach the current level 10 immortal ship. But more time. But it was spent on improving the strength of Star Wars, and these 3 years. Just the first part of training. Follow-up. There will also be a training plan lasting 10 or 20 years. Zian and the others will be trained until they reach the vertical star level. Yes. Vertical star. Of course. It's not like this training continues all the time. Even if you can train like this, the evolution value is not enough. What's more, even if the evolution value is enough, if you continue to train like this endlessly, it will only undermine the success, which is not good. For example, after the first phase of the training plan ends, Zian and the girls. There will be 5 years. Fight on your own, take on quests, and do whatever you want. And within these 5 years, Wanzhong Mountain has only one request. Put the Star Wars knowledge and skills learned in these 3 years. Complete understanding. Apply it in a real sense to actual combat and become a part of your own instinct. By the way, in these battles, to get enough evolution value. 5 years later. Keep coming back here. 20 years of training begins, then keep breaking through until the vertical star level. Since then, training is over. And when we get to the vertical star level, they are in Wanzhong Mountain. Zian will no longer be responsible for their safety issues. Everything from now on. It will all rely entirely on Zian to make it on his own. If at this stage, Wei falls and dies young, you only have yourself to blame. It's not Wanzhong Mountain that they no longer want to be responsible for its safety. But behind the starship. This is the path to the true superpower. And the road to the super strong. Only they can go on their own. Even. Wan Zhongshan also asked. Starting today. Qiu Taoyu, go practice on your own. No one is allowed to bring Qiu Taoyu or Jinyu level or above experts with them. All in all. Your own path to becoming a strong person. Go and pave the way with countless blood and tears. In this way. Only then can he truly become a world-destroying level or even an annihilation-level powerhouse in the future. And Zian. Then it is even possible to become the eternal level. Become a terrifying existence like the second patron saint of the human race. Speaking of training. These past 3 years. Zian them. I really have completely forgotten the concept of time. Every day, every minute, every second. Everything is well arranged. There is no time to relax. Every day. He grew up by being beaten by these strong men with starships. That was a real beating. These strong men. That's really no mercy. Even several times. The starship was almost destroyed. If Zian hadn't used his multidimensional space invisibility ability to instantly appear in front of the girls and defend them. The girls are now. No matter what, several starships would be blown up, and some people would even die because of it. This shows how intense and outrageous the training intensity is. But that's exactly what happened. After discovering that Zian can save the girls at the most critical moment. These strong men seem to become more unscrupulous after training. They simulate life and death crises as much as possible. And only this kind of training between life and death. Only then can we truly help girls grow up quickly and effectively. After Star Wars training, it doesn't matter whether Zian or the others are tired. Throw it directly into the ultra-high-pressure training room. Let them practice. While practicing, they will also receive lessons from the strong on some of their shortcomings in today's Star Wars. Wait until the practice is over. Eat a meal and sleep for 3 hours. Then keep training. That is to say, these past 3 years. Everyone. There are only 3 hours of sleep and 1 hour of eating and washing every day. That adds up to only 4 hours. Remaining time. It's all training, 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 training. Not only that. This time, the human race really spent a huge amount of money to improve everyone. All kinds of extremely precious treasures of heaven, materials, and earth were used on Zian and others as if they were free of money. Just 3 years passed. Effect. Shockingly significant. The first is cultivation. Everyone. Now all members have reached the 10th level of immortality. About to break through to the void level. And then there's Star Wars. Let's put it that way. All of them are the most talented people in Star Wars. And still the kind of top-notch genius. Mu Ziqiu, Lu Yuyu. Now, not only has his cultivation reached the level of peerless genius. The same goes for Star Wars. In the true sense, all members of Star Wars are the most talented people. Still the top one. Good thing. 3 years of hellish training. It's finally over. Next stage. It will be 5 years later. Things that will happen in 5 years will be discussed in 5 years. Now. The starship first. Let's wait until everyone evolves to the void level. And the void level. Mu Ziqiu. You can also join in. But her starship itself is a void class, and it needs to wait until it reaches the vertical star level, before it can be completely transformed. But Lu Yuyu can now undergo a complete transformation. Like all the female starships, the kind that is powerful and paranoid. Lu Yuyu. Same as Meow Meow, belongs to the ultra-agile assassin type. 103, the kind that kills with one hit. It can also be said to be a sniper type. Just don't move. One move will destroy the starship. Anyway, that's what it means. At this moment. Inside the supergiant evolution factory built by the heart of humanity. This supergiant evolutionary factory. It's the kind of place where the eternal ship can be evolved. So Zian and his starship evolved. Of course there is no problem. And it seemed extremely empty. At this time in the evolution factory. Including Zian, there are 11 immortal ships in total. Already ready to evolve. Next to these starships. The huge parts are arranged neatly. And at this time. Even if it's Zian. There was excitement on their faces. Not to mention the girls. The reason is simple. Void ship. That is the symbol of the powerful in the universe. Star Destroyer, immortal. That's just the strong one. It means that you are a prince. Void ship, vertical star ship. That is the strong man of the universe. It means that no matter where you are in the universe, you are at the king level. On the town ship. He is a super strong man. This goes without saying. Why is it said that the void ship is the strongest in the universe? You can tell this just by looking at the size of the starship. Immortal ship. The longest length is 9,999.9 meters. B. Void ship. The longest limit length. But all of a sudden, it jumped to a terrifying 36,999.9 meters. That's 37,000 meters. What a terrifying size. The universe is running rampant. It's no longer empty talk. Void level. Zian sighed in his eyes. A dream that many people would never dare to dream about. When I was young, I never dared to think of heights. 204. Just a few decades. It was easily achieved. Smile softly. Think no more. Brilliant number. Evolve into a void ship. Since then. Start. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.